Historical foundation of physical education. History educate us by allowing us to comprehend how past leaders and events influences physical fitness, exercise, science, and sports. History serves as a reference suggesting possibilities and courses and action that could be most successful in the years ahead. Ancient Greece, prehistoric time 338 BC and Rome 500 to 27 BC. Physical activity was also valued was the ancient Roman era, though it played a different role than in Greece. Fitness and physical prowess were critical to Rome's military victory. Many physical activities such as archery, wrestling, horseback riding, and fencing were taught to males. We have three early modern European programs: first Germany, second Denmark, third Great Britain. The first one is Germany. Physical education in Germany during the early modern European era was focused on the creation of strong people through programs in school and community organization. Johann Bernhard Basedow (1723 to 1790), Johann Christoph Friedrich Gutsmuth (1759 to 1739), and Adolf Spies (1810 to 1858), all pioneers of physical education at the time were instrumental in encouraging school gymnastics. Their programs emphasize games, marching, running, and wrestling, as well as drills and training in those sports. These leaders that claim physical education deserve to be included in the school. And the second one is Denmark. Danish gymnastics was also inspired by nationalism in the early 1800s. Frans Nachtigal (1777 to 1847) is known as the father Danish physical education for his contribute of the creation of physical education programs in Denmark. In 1979, Nachtigal established the first private of Copenhagen, which was dedicated to physical training. Gutsmuth's work had an impact on his education. 1804, the Danish king appointed Nachtigal as the director of training school in military gymnastic instructor. And the last one is Great Britain. Physical education was approached differently in the 1800s in Great Britain, while other European countries emphasized instructor gymnastic programs. The United Kingdom emphasized organized games and sports program. In the United Kingdom, sports have a long and illustrious history. Before the 1800s, swimming, rowing, archery, horseback riding, hockey, quoits, tennis, golf, football, or soccer, cricket were all common sports.
We will talk about the history of physical education in the Philippines, pre-Spanish era, Indonesian and Malays period, Spanish regime, American regime, and Japanese regime. Pre-Spanish era, the Negritos or Eta used bows and arrows to hunt for food. They run, leap, jump, and climb. They enjoy music and dancing. Indonesian and Malays period. Producing food through planting and cultivating the mountainsides is the major physical activity of Indonesian and Malays. They also dance as a form of religious activity. Bathing and swimming are their favorite pastime in the rivers, ponds, and etc. Spanish regime enforced labor among low-class Filipinos through the building of churches and other infrastructure is the only physical activity of the people while waiting for the time of harvest after planting in that time. Fandango, Curacha, Jota, polka, mazurka, rigodon, and lanceros dances are examples of popular physical activity or dance among Filipinos in this time due to the influence of Spanish culture. Ceremonial dances were performed during religious events like Santa Cruzan, wherein people ate, sang, drank, and danced to their heart's content. Games were played by the Filipinos during a grand celebration or after the Santa Cruzan. Some examples of game played are pabitin, palo sebo, juego de anillo, sungka, siklot, and also piko, luksong tinik, and hide and seek. Young boys plays patintero, sipa, top spinning, and kite flying. Card games were very popular, recreational to old folks, which were introduced by the Spaniard. American regime. Physical education became one of the subjects taught in public schools in 1901, and a daily athletics program was developed. After 4 years, baseball and track and fields were introduced and taught to school-age pupils. Another 4 years passed, and the school's athletic program was launched. In 1910, basketball was first adopted as a female-oriented sport. A year after, they published the Athletics Handbook. They also gave specific training for Filipino teachers. Teachers Vacation Assembly in Manila in 1914. 5 years passed, they published a syllabus titled Physical Education Manual for Teachers. Then after a year, physical education became a required subject in the curriculum in all public schools.
Since the military government forbade it, Filipinos did not engage the sporting events. The Filipinos were engrossed in the war at that time.
Motor learning is the study of how people learn new skills through practice and experience. The study of the neuropsychological and behavioral processes that influence the regulation and skilled movement is known as motor control. Motor development is the study of the roots of movement, activity, and how it evolves. There are 3 stages of learning defined by Fitz and Fosners. The first one is cognitive stage, associative stage, and the last is autonomous stage. Cognitive stage is the first stage of learning. The pupil is attempting to comprehend the natural goal of the task to be learned at this time. Question like, how do I stand? Might be on a pupil's mind. Can you show me how to handle a tennis racket? Can you tell me how you do in this game? Can you tell me the steps in the swimming stroke? The pupil must also pay careful attention to the information presented by the teacher, which can include both verbal and visual information, such as a demonstration of a skill or a videotape of a performer performing these skills. Associative stage is the second stage. At this stage, the pupil has mastered the fundamental of the skills and is concentrating on honing it. During this point, the pupil focuses on the mastering the necessary timing of the skill. The pupil's output appears to be more fluid. There are fewer mistakes, and the same form of errors is more likely to recur. The pupil is also aware of some of the obvious error he or she is making when performing the task, and may use this knowledge to improve the subsequent results. And the last one is the autonomous stage. It is the third stage. After a lot of practice, the pupil will get to this stage of learning. He or she can reliably perform the skills with few errors. The ability is well coordinated and seems to be done with ease. The ability has almost become automatic at this stage. The pupil is not required to pay attention to every detail of the skill. In fact, the pupil can perform the skill without even thinking about it. Now let's move on to historical foundation of health. Any combination of learning opportunities designed to foster voluntary activities conducive to health is how health education is characterized, according to Green and Kreuter 2005. Although health education has a long tradition reaching back to the 19th century, it was not until the 1940s that it became a distinct discipline. Health education philosophy and practice base has evolved, moving away from one-on-one and mass media behavioral approaches to provide accountability for policies, processes, and environments that influence populations' health. Health education and health promotion are frequently used interchangeably in the United States in the early 21st century, whereas health promotion is used globally as an umbrella definition that involves health education. Given that it has established a distinct body of knowledge, specified competencies, a credential system for individuals, a code of ethics, a federal occupation classification, and recognized accreditation processes in higher education, health education is considered a mature discipline. One of the central aspects of public health research and practice is health education, which is typically associated with behavioral and social sciences.